document was created to give background information on mobile applications. Open the One Mobile App word processing document and insert your name and surname in the header. Right, so I've opened it up, double click in the header. And close. There we go, Miguel Vieira. Create a new style called app with the following attributes. So they say they want the font Arial black, the size 30 pt, and they want to apply the style for the first heading mobile apps application. So I'm going to just make sure I'm selected or somewhere within that paragraph, and once I've created the style and say OK, it automatically applies to this heading. So I'm going to go here to my dialog box button for styles, open up the dialog box, and then over here say new style. Over here under name, they want me to call it app. The font Arial black, and the size they want 30. But now you can see here I can't add 30 by clicking on the selection, so I need to type it in and push enter to accept. Once that's done, I click on OK, and there it gets put in for me. And now close this. Alright, next question. Create the following image on the first page. So it says use the file one apps found in your examination folder. So we go insert, picture, one app, and insert. It's quite a big picture, so I'm just going to resize it. Alright, next they say fill the arrow with the style subtle effect blue accent 1. So let's have a first look at this arrow. It's got a bit of an outline, it's an arrow facing to the right, and it seems to have a bit of a shadow, plus it says subtle effect blue accent 1. So let's go into our insert tab, shapes, and pick up the arrow, and now we're going to draw the arrow in. Right, I'm just using the arrows on the keyboard to readjust and reposition the arrow, and once I've got it where I want it, I'm going to come here to shape styles, click on this little drop down arrow, and then over here I'm going to hold the mouse over the colors blue, because they said something about blue, and look for the one that says subtle effect blue accent 1. There we go. Alright, now over here the outline is light, where in the example it's black, so we can say shape outline and then just pick the black to make it look like the example. And we also have a shadow, and the shadow by the look of the example is at the bottom and to the side. Okay, there we go. So that looks exactly like the one in the example. And now the last thing we need to do is add a text box with water droplets in it. So I'm going to go here, click on the text box, draw my text box in, and I'm going to type mobile is the future. And there's no such thing as communication overload. Alright, and full stop. Can make my box a little smaller. And then if we look at the writing within the box, it's bold, and they've also got it centered. Alright, that looks pretty close to what the example looks like in the book. So there we are. If we look at the outline, the box has an outline where the example doesn't. So let's fix this. We're going to right click, format shape. Here by line, we're going to say no line. And then lastly, here by fill, we want picture or texture fill. And we are going to say water droplets. So there our image is complete. The last step, it says ensure the image moves as one object. Now we all know that we can select the first picture and then hold the control key down, and as we select we can move on through all our selections. Now when we get to this image and we try click on it, it doesn't accept it, but if we let go of the control and select it, you can see it does select, but the minute we move on to the others now, it doesn't allow us to select them. Okay, so what that means is that the wrapping on this text is in line. So you can see here it's in line with text. We just need to change it to square, and now we can select all the images. Right click, go to group, and group them. So there we go. Now they move as, now they move as one. Only thing here, we can see that this arrow is being cut away from this image now since I squared it. So I'm going to just right click and bring to front. Okay, everything looks exactly like the example in the book. Let us move on to the next question. It says replace the exact word app. No, sorry. Center only the first page vertically. So they want us to center this first page vertically. I'm going to make sure I select this page. I want to first show you what happens. I'm going to go layout, dialog box, and here under layout I'm going to go to vertical alignment and say center. When I click on OK, you'll see the first page has been centered vertically, but so has the second page and all the others if you look closely. So I'm going to Control Z to undo that. Now the first thing I need to do here is go to this page break, remove the page break, and I'm going to add a section break next page. So it does exactly the same thing, just it creates a new section as well. It will still look the same. All I'm going to do now is align it vertically at center, and when I say OK, you'll see the first page has been aligned, but the second now remains the same. Replace the exact word app with the word app in green font. Alright, so let's go home and replace. Now they say replace the word app, but they use the word exact word. Now you might think to yourself, why on earth would you have to do that? Now the examiner is not going to put something like that into the paper if it doesn't mean something. When they mean exact word, they're not looking for the three letters app in example application or appliance. So you need to make sure it's the whole word only. If they didn't put that exact word in, then it wouldn't need to be whole word, but they did. So make sure you say find whole words only. Replace with over here. They still want you to replace it with the same three letters, but they want the font color to be green. So we go to font color, and here is green. So okay, replace. All done. We made 36 replacements. Okay, close. Insert an automatic citation to replace the words American Dialect Society below the heading overview. So let's go find that heading overview. There we go. And below this heading, you'll find American Dialect Society. So I'm going to select that writing, and I'm going to go to References, and here I'm going to go to Insert Citation. Now you'll see the citation does not exist yet, so we need to create it. And the way we do that is under Manage Sources. Now Manage Sources, I created this a while ago, so I'm going to delete that and say new. Then over here, you would have to go down to report. And now the author, you get all this information from your test, is the ADS, the date is going to be 2010. Alright, so that's all the information they give us. We say OK, there it adds it in for us, and then we close. Now when we go to insert citation, you'll see it pops up here. When you select it, remember, because I selected the writing, it replaces that writing with the citation as they've asked us to do in the example. Add an automatic caption above the picture on the third page below the heading Development with the text Developers at Work. So let's go look for the heading. Here we go. Development. This is the image that they want us to work with, and they want us to insert caption. So I'll click on that, and over here I'm going to insert the text Developers at Work. Before I click on OK, make sure that the position says above. Over here it says below, so I need to say above. Click on OK, and there it gets added in for me. Um, 1.7 says ensure that the following text won't appear in the table of contents. The two biggest app stores are Apple Store for iOS and Google for Android. Alright, so let's go and find that text. There we go. So if we select this writing here and we go to the Home tab, we'll see that the style has been set as a heading, and that's why it keeps coming up on the table of contents. So what we're going to do is change it to a normal style, and that will solve the problem. Now it says update the table of contents. So now let's go back to our table of contents. We're going to right click on it and see if what we did actually worked. Update entire table, okay. And there you can see the yellow is gone. That was the text that was on there. 1.8, place the paragraphs that start with Google Play and end with purchasing electronically in 3 columns with a line in between. So we're going to go down to those paragraphs. That starts here with Google Play. They highlighted it in green. And we go down all the way to purchasing electronically. Okay. I'm then going to go to my layout, columns, more columns, and over here I'm going to change it to 3 columns. And then over here I need to say line between and click on OK. So there we've got our 3 columns and we've got the lines in between them. Now what it's asking us to do is to make sure that App Store, so this heading here, starts at the top of the next column, and others start at the top of the 3rd column. So in order to do that, we are going to place the cursor to the left of the word app, and then go to breaks and click on column break. You can see that the App Store has been added to the top of this column, and then over here others, we're going to do the same. And there we go, we have the 3 headings at the top of each of the columns. Right, I'm going to turn over. It says insert a hyperlink to the text back to top on the last page. Ensure that the link goes to the top of the document. Alright, so let's scroll down to the last page. Here we go. It says here back to top. So I'm going to select the text. Once I've selected the text, I'm going to go insert link, and over here I'm going to look for this document. So it's a place in this document. I click on that, and then looking through all these headings and stuff, right at the top here it says top of the document. I select that and I click on OK. Right, if I click on the control button, you'll see that cursor changes to a hand, and then when I press down on the mouse button and click, it takes me right to the top of the document. Last thing it says is to add page numbers in the footer of the document as follows. Start the numbering on the third page as page 1. So let's go look at the third page first. Double click, and you'll see here it says footer section 2, and if I look up at page 2 it says footer section 2. Alright, that's the same section, and then over here it says footer section 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is, while we're in page 3 footer, we're going to say unlink to previous, so it's not linked to the page 1. So when I put a number, page 1 will not get a number. And then I also don't want page 2 to get a number, so what I need to do is say different first page. And by doing that, whatever I do here will not happen on this content page, page 2. Alright, so far let's see if this works. So select the page, we go to page numbers, bottom of page, and then I'm going to look for page 1. They don't want this little line here, so we're going to delete that. Then right click, format page numbers, and I'm going to start it on 0. So the content page will be seen as 0, this one will be seen as 1. Alright, so we don't see that happening because I've said different first page. And here we go, page 1 is page 3 in fact. Okay, so if I click here, you'll see there, page 3. Right, so far this is done. You'll see that the first page also has got nothing on it because we've unlinked the section. And now the last thing it says we need to do is the annexure must be numbered in Roman numerals. So the first thing we're going to do is go all the way down to the bottom to see what the annexure looks like. So here we've got section 4, page 5, and then at section 4 is the annexure. So in order for us to be able to change the numbering now in this annexure, we need to create another section. So what we're going to do here is delete this page break. Once you've deleted the page break, we are going to go to our layout. We're going to go to breaks and put in a section break next page. So the same thing happens as a page break, the only difference is it creates a new section. So now if we look at our footer, here footer section 4, and here header section 5. So this is a new section. So we want these numbers to stay page 5 in that format. So over here I'm going to select this page, and before I do anything and delete, I need to unlink it from the previous section, and now I can delete page. Over here I'm going to format the number. I'm going to start back at 1, so you can see it's 1. The previous page still stays the same as before, and then the last thing I'm going to right click on here, edit field, and click on Roman numerals. Alright, so going forward from that section you'll see it all works. Alright guys, so that was question 1. There was 33 marks. You can save the document and close. Well done.